Big promises from the incoming U.S. president.
On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history.
He's talking about millions of people, but how is that going to work, and how should Canada prepare? To untangle this, Paul Hunter is in Washington. Catherine Cullen is in Ottawa. So, Paul, day one, Donald Trump wants to launch this mass deportation program. Where does he start?
As soon as he walks into the White House on Inauguration Day, Adrian, right off the bat, he's made clear his immediate priority will be to go after migrants with criminal records and any migrant known to be or suspected to be in a gang. As he's put it, they will be hunted down and arrested. But broadly speaking, Trump's goal is to deport every undocumented migrant in the country, and there are 11 million of them. That's more than everyone in Alberta and British Columbia combined. A massive undertaking. That said, the guessing is that a realistic number is 1 million deportations per year. So how to do that? Well, there'd be mass raids, almost certainly involving municipal, state, and federal enforcement officers, likely moving in on workplaces, schools, hospitals, churches in all 50 states, and checkpoints. Show me your papers kind of thing. Once found and arrested, the throngs of migrants would need some place to be held for processing. This is where the camps come in. The state of Texas has already offered up land for a giant detention camp, roughly the size of 700 football fields. Then comes that processing. Anyone who's lived in the U.S. for at least 2 years, regardless of legal status, is entitled to a deportation hearing, a day in court, as it were, for all who qualify. When that happens, and if then ordered deported, out they go. At least that's the plan. Look, Trump wants to go big on this, and he wants to go as quickly as possible. Want to know if he's serious, Adrian? Give a listen to Stephen Miller, arguably the most influential advisor to Trump on this issue. Here he is.
On day one, the southern border slams shut to illegal immigration. So all the illegal aliens all over the world who've been taking a free ride at America's expense for 4 years, guess what? You show up, you're not getting in, you're not getting through, you're not getting released, you're not going to any city anywhere in America. The only thing you're getting, courtesy of the U.S. taxpayer, is a flight back home.
Can Donald Trump actually really stage these mass deportations? Can it happen?
Yeah, it sure seems so. And look, the U.S. has done this before. Operation Wetback, for example, complete with its racist name. In the 1950s, it rounded up more than 1 million Mexicans for deportation, all in the name of protecting jobs for Americans. At the time, it was the biggest mass deportation program in American history. Trump's plan goes well beyond that. To execute it, he said he'd invoke what's called the Illegal Enemies Act from 1798, a piece of legislation meant for use during wartime. If he does that, he'd likely face court challenges. But if it goes to the U.S. Supreme Court, let's not forget the makeup of the bench would seem to be in Trump's favor. The big issue is probably money. Catherine mentioned Canada's immigration system being overwhelmed. Well, same thing in the U.S. And with this program, there need to be all kinds of new immigration judges, new enforcement agents, staff for the camps, food and transport for the detainees. Estimates vary, but the suggestion is to deport all 11 million. Let's say be talking some $150 billion over the course of time. That would need congressional approval, but guess what? Republicans just won control of Capitol Hill. Full speed ahead for Donald Trump.